Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First, a reminder. All of the content we produce is available on our website at finalshowfilms.com, as well as youtube.com/senstaku, senstaku.podbean.com, twitch.tv/senstaku, and on iTunes. We are only able to do the things we do thanks to the kind support of our Patreon donors. We give a special shout out to our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic and Waterflame. If you'd like to support us that way, be sure to check it out. Secondly, a thank you to the folks over at 411mania.com. They produce articles and content related to wrestling, MMA, movies, music, and gaming. Go check them out. We appreciate their support as well. And lastly, be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, if possible, wherever you listen to or watch our content. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and helps us make more content. Feedback is always appreciated. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Adventures League Storm King's Thunder. I'm John, the Game Master for the evening, or for morning, or whatever fuck time this is. And with me today is William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Fire and Altari, the human paladin of Ilmater. This is an accent that I can do while I'm half awake.
You just sort of let the words fall out. And Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm playing Farbolt Chance, the half-elf rogue.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Kinvalar, the Sun Elven Bladesinger.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Miracle, the Ranger.
Going through the cattle, hit the Rolodex out, just start flipping.
Yep.
No, for some reason I was starting with Naomi.
Oh, Naomi's dead. Anyways, when last we left our intrepid adventurers, they had just left Silvery Moon after accosting a noble family that had Cambions in their employ. And by accosting, I mean sicking the guards on them. During the commotion, our intrepid rogue snuck into the carriage house of the nobles that they had gotten arrested, and made off, thanks to the bag of holding, a simple illusion spell, and very deft fingers and quick feet, managed to make off with a large chest containing a suit of silvery armor, a necklace, a backpack, and a saddle. Which is now currently residing in Farbolt's bag of holding, him having not yet revealed his ill-gotten gains to the rest of the party. When that may happen, we don't know.
He's gonna find an empty chest and be like, "Hey guys, look what I found."
That was kind of the
Next time you run into a group of bandits, they were bandits with a shitload of cool stuff.
like, holy crap, look at this saddle.
Just like bury it in the sand. Say, hey guys, I found this on watch. We pick up appropriately enough on Farbolt's watch the first night out from Silvery Moon as you guys are making yourselves back to... You guys are making your ways north to Zymorvan Hall. You've got 2 days. You've finished the first day already, which means that it is Farbolt's shift, which I believe we had said was like sort of like second or third shift. We'll say third shift for dramatic emphasis. So, Farbolt, you've just opened this crate and revealed a silver, a very like fine quality full suit of plate mail that seems to be of the same material that the guards of Silvery Moon were wearing. A saddle with magical runes etched into the side of it. A necklace with a golden necklace with several little red glass beads hanging off of it, and a large backpack that seems to have way too many pockets.
First, dig around the backpack. Anything in there?
So you stick your hand in. Nothing in. You do realize that your hand goes in further than it probably should.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely stuffing the saddle and the suit of armor back into the bag.
They go into the bag of holding.
Bag. And
Oh, right. That's a bad idea.
I mean, there are lots of bad ideas.
it is.
Is there one in particular?
I think I know. I think I know what William's thinking about.
So yeah, the backpack the backpack has a central pouch, two side pouches, um, and it weighs about 5 pounds as you're holding it.
I
Okay.
forgot that was a bad idea. Fuck.
Uh, I'm gonna pocket the necklace, keep that on me, but then I'm going to stick just crumple up the sack as well as I can and stuff it into a saddlebag.
Okay. I was waiting.
Put the backpack in the bag, everything explodes.
Okay, now next week we start with new characters.
Oh, no, you don't die.
I was gonna say, does that really blow everything up?
No, it just opens a gate. It just opens a gate to the astral plane. And it sucks you all through.
Yeah.
And then we're in the astral plane where there's no air.
I mean, fair enough. That is probably a reason to start new characters.
Like, let alone the fact that you suffocate immediately because the astral plane has no oxygen.
Oh, yeah.
Make an intelligence roll. No, I'm playing.
And then stuff the chest back into the bag of holding.
The fact that your arm goes shoulder deep into this backpack tells you that it's probably similar to the bag of holding. You don't want to put the two together.
Yeah. Stuff that as best I can into a saddlebag, and then stuff the chest back into the bag of holding.
All right.
And sit there and watch and
it didn't blow up. And it didn't blow up the first time you did it because magic, and because I didn't want because random treasure table indicates that you don't know what it is till you open the crate for whatever reason.
It was Schrodinger's bag. Schrodinger's bag of
exactly.
Yeah,
It was Schrodinger's handy haversack.
It didn't exist until you opened the chest.
Yeah. So, yeah, you have
and
the rest of your watch. What do you do?
Do I know what the necklace does?
You mean Arcana check?
Yeah, 11.
Keep reading your name as Firebolt, Chance.
You can tell it's magical. You're not certain exactly what it does. You have an inkling suspicion that it has something to do with the little glass orbs on it, and you probably don't want to break it.
I second thought, I'm putting that into the bag of holding as well.
Riding on the saddle, fall off the horse, explode.
Might be a bad idea. Let's put that into the bag of holding right now.
That would be the best way to PK a party, by the way.
Just fall on your necklace of fireballs.
Yeah, just a rogue falls on their necklace of fireballs. Everyone dies. Oh.
No, the rogue's fine. The rogue's got evasion.
Evasion's like, oops, I tripped.
You do have evasion. But I would rule that if you fall on the source of the explosion,
there's no dodging that shit.
The explosion was in my pants. I evaded. How?
I'm a rogue, man.
Emergency pants.
Just like you have like an ejection system in your pants.
No, I avoid it by pitching to the GM the survivor's guilt caused by killing my entire party and surviving.
I just have the image now of like a rogue that has like an ejection seat in their pants. Just like the explosion go off, hit the button, and they go flying. Anyway.
We're on point this week, guys.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
I'm even less awake than normal. It's
great.
gonna be expected.
It's fine. I'm the one that's off track, so anyways.
Other than that, not going to do a whole lot on watch besides try to look innocent, make sure there's no evidence left.
Make me an investigation check. Seems fine to you.
Absolutely. I'm good at what I do.
You are the best. So the watch ends. The rest of you all wake up.
Okay.
Firebolt, give me a sleight of hand check. I just want to see how well you hid the haversack.
This I'm actually
Pretty
good
damn
at.
well.
Yep. Yeah, you guys wake up. Firbolt's sort of sitting there, fiddling with something. You are all awake and ready to continue.
All right. I guess we should get back on the road then.
Yes, absolutely.
All
How long have we got to St. Morven Hall?
Miracle's actually going to remember to cast Goodberry in the morning so that I don't have to spend my first action in combat casting it. So
I want
Goodberry
some
Back in
berries
trouble.
in the morning.
distributing 2 to each of you.
Okay.
You all have 2 good berries, except for Miracle, who has 4.
So,
One of which is going to Red Feather. Just tie a little piece of cloth around Red Feather. Has a little.
Red Feather has a little
Goodberry necklace.
little good berry pouch.
Yep.
so how we're going to Zymorphin Keep to get a giant slaying sword. Is that right? If I remember
Yes,
correctly.
as far as I recall, yes.
Really?
So we're just gonna walk up there and convince them, hey, you got a nice shiny sword. Can we have it?
Well, we have the name of his old comrade who said he might be willing to part with it to people who are actually going to be using it. So we could just ask. I think that's probably nice.
We'll call that Plan A.
That was the implication given to you by Urgala. Urgala Meltimer is the person that gave you this quest.
Unless he's eating people, in which case apparently the correct thing to do is instead to smash him to bits.
More or less.
I can live with that.
Generally speaking, cannibalism is a frowned upon activity and usually met with violence because no one wants to be eaten themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's also weird because I can talk to animals.
Think with the law of nature. If an animal tries to kill another animal, if it's capable, it's either going to run or it's going to fight.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's the same thing. If he's going to try to eat us, we're either going to run or we're going to fight.
I like that this dwarf is now a cannibal.
I mean,
I like that he's now a dwarf.
You said dwarf when we were originally talking about this character.
Nope.
Seriously?
Never did.
Why is that in my notes? Okay.
I don't know.
I like the idea that it's just a cannibal dwarf sitting in Zymorphin Hall.
Oh, the dwarves that you can get stuff from are in Citadel Felbar, and there was a dwarf bounty hunt. There was a dwarf bounty that you guys already got.
Yeah, I think Felbar and Zymorvin ended up the same place in my notes.
That's fine.
I mean, if it helps your opinion of my stance on the matter, I am a vegetarian, so that
just confuses me more because
I have yet to meet a sentient plant.
Give it time.
I know a druid. We're gonna go take you to see a druid once we're done with all this giant business.
Also,
I'm gonna take you to a druid who can talk to plants.
The actual warning that I'll give
Not
you is
the same.
The actual warning that I'll give you is don't be in a marsh during a lightning storm.
It's a fair warning. and he just leaves it at that as Byron gets on the horse and starts riding away. Leaving Kinvlar to wonder what the hell happens in a marsh during a lightning storm.
It seems rather random.
You don't want to know. I'll leave it at that.
Very well.
Kinvalar starts getting a nosebleed from his players' past characters' experiences. What's going on? So you all saddle up and continue riding. Roughly heading towards dusk. Not quite there yet, but as the sun is.
Please tell me there's a random encounter with a shambling mound.
Roll me a D100.
Yeah, I had to go and say something.
I really hope. Oh, God.
You guys are at the edge of the Evermore, so
52.
52. No, there's not a mound. There's not a random shambling mound.
Oh. Can there be an intentional shambling mound?
No. Maybe later. Anyways, so nothing spectacular occurs over the course of the day. Because you guys already cleared that encounter. Towards the end of the day, towards the evening, before the sun sets, but as it's on its way, you spot on a crag overlooking the Ralvin Road, which is the road that you're on currently, a keep of mortared stone with a high-pitched roof and wooden statues of baying wolves rising from its peaks. A branch of the road that you're on currently winds up towards this keep's gatehouse and bailey, which you assume is the road that you need to take. You turn off and ride all the way up to the gatehouse, which is currently guarded by guards, obviously, who just sort of they don't like harass you as you approach. They just sort of very casual. Who goes there?
Just gonna look over at Firen and let him do the talking.
I sort of ride up. Group of travelers from Silvery Moon come to meet with Harthos Zymorvan.
Ah, very well. He sort of reached over and tapped with his spear on the stone wall of the gatehouse, and you hear, after a few moments, you hear as the portcullis raises. Welcome then, travelers, to Zymorvan Hall. Lord Harthos will meet you in the main hall, and he points to a large set of double doors situated on the main building of this keep.
Thank you. Head inside.
Yep.
Right in there, as you ride in, a stable boy comes out to gather your horses, and you guys dismount and head up towards the door. The door opens up, and servants usher you in. You find yourselves in sort of a fairly not particularly extravagant hall. It's still a hall of a keep, so it's big stone walls, carpet, tables, chairs, things. But where in most sort of nobility that you're experienced with Firen and Kinvalar, this would be decorated with hunting trophies and tapestries and paintings dedicated to the owner. It's fairly barren. There are torches along the walls. There's actually weapons and armor on the wall as well, but just sort of like not even necessarily decorative. They're actually in low enough places where they could be grabbed at a moment's notice.
I want a sword in every hallway.
Yeah, that's sort of what it is. It's like I want a sword within arm's reach at any point in time. And at the far end of this hallway is the throne of the keep, which is sort of a few steps back from a table at which sits a tall, regal-looking human, dark hair, brown eyes, very well-kept goatee, who just sort of sits there and who is sitting with a scribe on one hand, dictating information. As you come in, he looks up. Ah, visitors. Well, please come in. This is very obviously a human. As you approach,
what was the name of the person who sent us here?
Argala Meltimer. And he welcome to Zymorvan Hall. I am Lord Harthos Zymorvan. What business have you with me today?
Greetings, Lord Zymorvan. We've actually been sent here on request of Urgala Meltimer.
Ah, an old friend. What does my friend Urgala have? What would my friend Urgala have of me?
Have you heard of the recent dealings with giants in the area?
I have seen such. My duty is to be vigilant and watch for trouble along the Ralvan Road, and I have seen an increase in giant activity as of late.
Well, our task is several-fold, but its primary directive is to resolve the current situation of giant activity, and Urgala counseled us that you might possess a weapon to protect us and use against these giants that would threaten our lands that you might be willing to see put back into proper use.
Someone looks you up and down. You're a knight, sir.
I am Farron Altorian, scion of House Altorian and paladin of Ilmater.
Are you well versed in the workings of a blade?
I sort of draw my own longsword. I am.
The weapon of question is a giant-slaying greatsword. Requires 2 hands, one I've wielded myself on many occasions, and were it within my grasp, you would have ready access to it. Unfortunately, it seems that my erstwhile son has decided that he wanted to make off with it. I may have made a hasty decision, but we had an argument. He decided he wanted to marry a thief from Yardar, whose name I can't recall, when I refused to allow it because of his duties as a member of the Zymorvan household. He stole my sword and fled.
Well then.
Such is the nature of youth, but do you have any idea? Is he perhaps headed to Yartar?
That would be my guess. I cannot afford to leave to search for him myself, but my assumption would be that he went to Yartar to be with this woman.
Well, that we
Do you
could
know
perhaps
anything about this woman?
I know that she's a thief, a career one at that, and resides in Yartar.
Well, as one of my own, I can certainly attest to the fact that the heart wants mysterious things, but I think perhaps we could at least see about.
The heart may want mysterious things, but I fear this person does not want my son so much as his wealth.
If that is the case, perhaps we could be after your son and caution him, and
Is Miracle actually
perhaps
raising
this
his hand?
matter.
Miracle looks like he's going to raise his hand, thinks better of it, walks over to Fyron and just sort of whispers, "Does the son have a name?" Before stepping back.
Fair point. What is the name of your son, if we may find him?
Harthal. Harthal. Harthal.
Name similarities. Very well. Would you have us say anything to him if we find him?
He sort of thinks for a minute. Bring him home. If you return him to me, then the sword is yours.
Very well. I believe we have a swift route to Yartar, my friends. It would be a few days back to Everland, but
Okay.
Yeah, my thanks. The guards that you met outside are not my own. They are a traveling patrol that often stays here. If you'd like, they can return to Silvermoon with you.
I think we shall be able to handle ourselves on the roads. The road to Silvery is not long, and though it does run along the Evermoors, I think we should be fine.
Very well.
So if they're heading the same
Yes.
way, we're not gonna like awkwardly tail 10 feet behind them or
Yes,
something.
if they wish to travel with us, we shan't stop them. But
Speak with them before you go. They have been here about a day, and I fear that it's time for their patrol to resume.
Can
thank you.
I get an insight check on all of that, by the way?
Sure.
I mean, just out of habit, I should probably do the same. Although I think
19.
Miracle's got it.
An insight check. Anyone who wants to.
Natural
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Fyron, nobles
I'm
don't
looking into
lie.
it. Yeah, I'm not reading into it.
Nobles don't lie, Fyron. What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm a noble paladin. All nobles are like me.
Look, it's not that I instinctively distrust him particularly, but I
Farbolt,
want to
stop
check
paying
this
atten-
story before we wander off to Yarder.
Farbolt, this guy.
Farbolt stopped paying attention after they said the sword's not here.
Yeah. Also, this guy doesn't have a lot of wealth that's on display, so you're not. You don't care. Ken Villar, he seems fairly honest. And Miracle, yeah, he doesn't seem to be the type to lie. In addition, you sort of pick up a point of interest on your behalf that he said the guards aren't his.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any other guards
Okay.
in the castle. In
So-
the keep either.
Scholars are nominally middle class. Would Miracle have any context for how rich this guy would have to be to get his son conned off by a thiefy lady?
Give me a intelligence check with your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so an intelligence check because everything but religion. Oh, and investigation. Everything that's not useful. Arcana. It's 18.
Fairly. You don't typically take rich people for that unless they're really easy or really rich. Which, so combination of the two. The fact that this guy doesn't have any guards, but his nominal task is to serve as the watch of this particular section of the road, tells you that either he is extremely powerful or in possession of a lot of magic.
Okay.
And it could be that they're
But
after
it doesn't
magical
seem like
items
this
or
keep
wealth.
is way too ratty for that to be possible.
No, the keep is very well maintained.
Okay.
It's very well maintained. It's just doesn't seem to be overly populated.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if it wasn't heavily magical and there were no staff, this place would be dusty as fuck.
Yeah, no, it's
That's true. That is true. Okay. That's fine.
well. You have my thanks for your services, and I will hope to see you soon.
You have our thanks for your counsel and your willingness to part with this blade should we return your son.
If you'd like to stay the night, and I see that it is getting on even, you are more than welcome to.
We thank you for your hospitality.
He sort of nods
Well-
and sits back down.
We will adjourn to counsel on our next step and be on our way when we see fit.
Very well.
And we turn and head to leave out.
Farbolt, give me an Arcana check. Actually, Farbolt, give me a Perception check.
A perception check? Okay, that's better.
Because you're the most bored of the group here. As you guys walk
Unnatural 20.
as you guys walk out of the hall, you do sort of a double take because you could swear one of the suits of armor's the helmet turned to follow you. You look back at it and it doesn't seem to be moving. But you just get this weird feeling that the armor is watching you.
Just kind of take a look back and like, how many suits of armor are in this hall?
There are. It seems to be like it. So you notice the sword racks that are along the wall, and it seems like there's a sword rack or suit of armor every 15 feet or so, just lining the walls.
He does have guards.
Okay.
They're just not fleshy guards.
Yes. So,
They don't have needs or need to be paid.
and I'm
Or
not going to
can be bribed.
I'm not going to miraculously find a saddle or a suit of armor here.
No, the suit of armor will miraculously find you if you try to steal anything.
No, it's one of those, hey, look what I found. Maybe this will fit Fyron.
And then it latches its hands around your throat.
Clink. So you guys exit out of the hall. there's a servant standing by to assist you if you need, if you decide you want to stay.
Okay. Well, shall we stay here for the night, or shall we set off on the road?
Where
Sort of
is
question, how far would we be able to get if we set off tonight?
Depending on how far you want to push in, you've got about an hour or two before actual dusk. So you could get a good distance along the road. Probably get back to Silvery Moon the night of the next day.
With all due respect to the tragedy of being conned, is this something where we absolutely need to run off this instant?
I would rather direct that to the tragedy of having your son disappear.
Okay,
Well-
fine. The question remains the same.
I would like to get on this, yes.
Anyone
Okay.
anyone that wants can make me a history check.
Okay.
because I'm thinking about if she gets what she wants out of him, he's either going to be ditched at the side of the road
Or killed.
or killed. Yeah,
I
his
have a
condition
thought about that. But
Yeah, so that is the thought that you all have. Kinvalar, in particular, being the bounty hunter of the group, you're seeing
Right.
this of one of two ways. Either they've already gotten what they want from Hartharl and have killed him,
Mm-hmm.
or, I mean, assuming that it's not a legitimate marriage, that these two people legitimately fell in love, and just got married, and for some reason, in order to get married, the son had to steal a particularly valuable weapon from his father.
Yeah, no.
Assuming that's not the case, which you are one to assume.
Mm-hmm.
Either they've got what they want in the sword and don't need him anymore, or they won't need him anymore very soon, or they want more and they're going to hold him hostage in an attempt
Right.
to get more money out of the Zymorvan Hall.
Yes, time is of the essence, I believe, in this case.
Okay. That works. Kinvalar, not pretending to know how much magic you have or how your magic works, wasn't one of the scrolls you were attempting to transcribe potentially a message?
That is a fantastic question. Let me see.
It says so in my notes, but
Yes, sending. Yes, absolutely.
would that be a useful way to check the current status, or do you think that's too risky?
You guys do have no, you don't have a contact in Yard, or you have a contact in the next town over.
Well, so I was
I
thinking.
know what you're suggesting is contacting the person we are trying to track down.
Well, yes. My default response to most things is let's talk about it.
Yes.
I think
That might
if
just-
we send a message to the man that we're trying to bring back to his father, if he's still under the idea that he's trying to get married, would probably make him go to ground.
Fine.
Yeah, if they have not, yes, if they have
If
not.
we're worried about whether or not he's alive, I was thinking that's a decent way to check, but fair enough.
Unfortunately, as loath as I am to say it, whether or not he's alive is irrelevant until we get there to do anything about it. While we're traveling, we can't save him. So the only thing we can do to make that a likelier possibility that he makes it out living is to move as fast as we can.
Okay.
Fair enough. So we set off immediately then.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pause to talk to the guards that are at the gatehouse?
Miracle will if no one else does. Just, we're headed back. We know that you also travel along roads, so just if you are heading out right now, we are heading out right now.
Let me check with our sergeant. We'll get back with you. And he steps off. Comes back a few moments later. Actually, yes, we were planning to head out for the night. See if we can catch any bandits on the road operating after dark. So, if you don't mind, we'll come with you.
It's always nice to have people along.
So you and a
You're
contingent
constantly judging me for talking to giants. I don't say that part.
You get your horses back from the stable boy, and you and a contingent of 12 guards patrol from Silvery Moon. They're all wearing that similar sort of silvery chain, and it's that Firebolt. It's the same material as that plate mail. The rest of you, it's the same material as the rest of the guards in Silvery Moon have. It's chainmail instead of half plate.
Do I recognize that as mithril?
Give me a history check with advantage.
14?
Yes.
Okay.
They are wearing mithril chain, currently, and it seems like that's pretty much. It seems like the majority of the armor that the Knights of Silvery Moon wear is made of mithril, and your knowledge of the local area tells you that Mithril Hall is nearby, which would make sense.
Yeah, they trade with Silvery Moon for mithril.
Silvery Moon has a long-standing alliance with Mithril Hall, and mithril is one of the primary materials they trade it. So, you guys are on the road with a contingent of guards. Because there are so many people, you don't have to set up watches, and over the course of the next day and a bit, actually their presence seems to keep the majority of bandits or anything else that they might be hunting for at bay.
A bear's not likely to attack such a large caravan on the road.
Correct.
I mean, just in case not, just on the off chance, I'm casting that. Mordenkainian's private sanctum.
Yeah. So yeah, at the night, when you guys stop for the night, you take 10 minutes.
Yep.
And you make this sort of see-through, seemingly dome of magic sort of encircle in the area.
Okay, am I just gaslighting myself? I could have sworn that his name had the I before that N.
It does. Private sanctum.
What?
You have to because the way the thing works, you have to actually type in the name. But
I could have sworn it was Mordekainen, not Mordekainian.
Yeah, it's Mordekainen.
This is what comes up as autocorrect when I put it into Google.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's right.
Well,
is.
in this campaign, it's Mordenkainian. So
Sorry,
I'm making an executive decision.
William, I'm right there with you.
Okay, I don't
for a
care.
second- I thought for a second I was
I
gaslighting myself.
literally can't tell the difference.
Like it's not your fault. I just thought that I was going crazy.
No, you are correct. It is normal. It is Mordenkainen. It's an easy name to misspell.
Not this campaign.
It's an easy name to misspell. But yeah, so you make this warded area around the party.
Arcadians from Greyhawk, so that person didn't create private sanctum in Faerun, probably. Just similarly named man did.
Similarly named individual. It's Elminster's private sanctum in Faerun.
There you go. That probably makes sense because fucking
Elminster's dick.
And Elminster doesn't give a shit about how he spells other mages' names. Elminster looked into Greyhawk, said, "Oh, that's a neat spell. I'm taking it, and I don't fucking care about your name."
There, Elminster's private sanctum.
I love that we needed to find a continuity explanation for this. It's very comic books. Oh, there's this tiny discrepancy.
Well,
let's create a complicated backstory
for novice GMs out there, Elminster is always the answer to any continuity question you have.
In Faerun.
It doesn't even matter.
in several planes.
In any plane of existence you care to name, Elminster is always the answer to the continuity question.
How did Tasselhoff survive this situation in Dragons of Autumn Twilight? Elminster.
Because that's how little of a shit Elminster gives for your fourth wall and world boundaries.
I don't know, that gets really awkward at times because then you start saying things like, well, how the hell is Strahd Barovia around when apparently Ravenloft collapsed at some point? Elminster. Well, Elminster's a dick.
He
Yes,
is.
he is.
It was a oops. I kind of brought that back.
Elminster's
Someone
a
else will
fucking
deal with
monster.
He is.
I wouldn't go that far.
Elminster is chaotic. He doesn't have a good or evil alignment.
There was,
He's just
to be fair,
chaotic.
there was a long period of time where he went fucking nuts because his god and girlfriend died.
It's true.
And by that, I don't mean his god died and his girlfriend died.
No,
God
his god
slash
is
girlfriend.
his girlfriend.
It's his girlfriend died.
Yes. He is the Deadpool of D&D. He is the Deadpool mixed with Doctor Strange of D&D. Anyways,
Dead strange.
Dead Strange. So, after
That was a fun side note.
Adventurers League, we're nothing if not tangential. So you make it back to Silvery Moon.
Where the players don't make sense and the points don't matter.
You make it back to Silvery Moon. The guards thank you for your assistance in the travel, and then you go to rest as another patrol gets ready to head back out up the Ralvin Road. You spend a night in Silvery Moon?
Yeah, I assume so.
I assume we would have to sleep in Silvery Moon or take exhaustion for pushing ourselves.
You would definitely need to sleep in Silvery Moon.
Everyone else seems to know exactly how we're going to get where we're going.
We're going to Everland and then we're teleporting to Yarder.
Okay.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, where is Yarder?
It's thing
I'm
with the
just
blue
trusting
circle.
that it's one of the blue squares I can't find.
It's right. It's east of Tribor.
Yarder is the first town you guys passed when you left Tribor up the Tribor Trail, or up the Evermore Way.
Was that the one where all of the people were because of the scandal?
It's the one you saw right. It's the one you went through right after dealing with the giant in the tower.
We didn't do anything.
So
in Yarder.
was
We just
this
passed
the
through.
one with the fire giants?
No.
No, Tribor was the one of the fire giants. We didn't do anything. We didn't do anything in Yarder when we passed through the first time.
That
We just
it
passed through.
wasn't the one with the siege.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was Tribor.
Yep.
So you have an evening in Silvery Moon. Is there anything you guys want to do while you're in Silvery Moon?
I've got nothing.
I've already done what I needed to do.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right. So you spend the night there,
I mean, I'll probably spend a few hours in the library.
obviously, and set off the next day after extricating Miracle from the library.
Yep.
God, it's books!
And it's
No,
only
he'll come.
it's only a day's ride between Silver Moon and Everland, so you guys get there.
Re-upping that Goodberry, so keep your numbers out there.
Give me a D100 roll, somebody, on the day's ride between
On
Silver
it.
Moon and Everland.
Right.
Bop, 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 bop.
47. That's a disappointing roll for me.
You're hoping for a 1.
Of course.
Okay. As you guys are riding out, it's roughly midday.
Is it the third encounter with the ogres?
No, you see a herd of elk crossing the road, heading towards the forest from the grasslands. And,
Elk all over this region.
I mean, it is the north.
Oh no.
And one of them stands out in particular as the light catches it. It's a stag. And its antlers are pure gold, it looks like.
That's
That's not
strange.
normal.
No.
Whoop, we lost an Aaron.
We lost Aaron. There they are.
I'm
There they are.
back.
They're back.
Okay, I was like, oh no, I was about to ask Miracle something.
Yeah. So yeah,
Sorry.
there are 10 elk, and one of them appears to have antlers of pure gold.
Do I know significance of that?
Yeah, history or
You can give me history or a religion check.
Art-
Miracle was
Arcana-
being asked something.
Yeah, do you know anything about that? Pointing at the elk.
History.
Religion.
Maybe?
I know nothing. I know jack shit.
20.
Wow, 8.
there's no historical or religious significance that you guys can think of regarding an elk with horns of pure gold.
Oh, I thought history was the check you asked us to make. I was
It could be either history
thinking
or
nature.
religion.
Oh.
It could be history or religion. Yeah, there's no significance you can think of off the top of your head. Maybe something to do with a druid, with like a druidic religion, or one of the more nature gods, but nothing that's popping off the top of your head.
Can I make a nature roll for how something like this happens, I guess?
Sure. Magical beings.
Even with a 20. Jeez.
Yeah, even with a 20.
It is obscure knowledge.
7. Never mind.
Some divine blessing.
I mean, it's not something I've ever run across or read a book about, but...
I'm going to suggest we not fulfill a sudden urge to go hunting.
Oh, how interesting. I cast a 4th level lightning bolt at it. No, I'm kidding.
I was thinking more like if you capture it, you get something, not necessarily kill it.
I guess just because we haven't checked it yet, can I roll Arcana?
Sure.
I'm sure nothing will come from it, but that's a waste of a good roll.
With a 24, there are certain magical components that might need, like certain magic spells that might need something like that. You're pretty certain this is not an arcane function, though. You're pretty certain this, whatever that is, it is more likely divine related. You just don't know what.
Yeah. I would rather not piss off a deity.
Yeah, I'm kind of. It's as cool as that would be.
No deity that will give a creature like that golden horns. I'm assuming it's not Malar because then it would be slaughtering everything it saw. And the rest of them are generally pretty positive when it's related. So.
Well,
let's watch the pretty thing, and if we get smited for not doing something, at least we didn't kill something we weren't supposed to.
They just they're grazing and making their way across the road, and they sort of look up and see you. The golden-headed stag sort of looks over at you for a bit longer than the rest of the group. Just sort of possibly just trying to sense if you guys are going to attack or something. And it sort of ushers the rest of them across the road, and it definitely seems to be the leader of the group. It ushers the rest of them across the road into the forest, and your path is clear.
Into the Silverwood?
Yes.
Make a note of that one, just in case it becomes relevant. You never know.
And your road is clear. You're free to continue on. When Farbolt says, "Oh, hey, look, guys, the elks left something behind." No.
What is an elk doing with a saddle?
I knew I should have hunted it down and turned it into a steed. Quick, after it!
You make your way to Everland. I'm assuming are you heading straight? I'm assuming you're heading straight to the tower, the Moongleam Tower.
Yeah. Unless anyone else wants to make a side trip.
Nope.
Yeah, you very quickly head to Moongleam Tower and get teleported to Yartar.
Yartar.
So the last time you were in Yartar, you were sort of skipping through it, didn't really pay much attention, but you appear. Where is the teleportation circle? I don't know where the teleportation circle is. So, you appear in a building and step outside.
Now, is this a large city or is this a sizable town?
Yartar is a fortified city. It has a wall around it. Being in the location it is, makes sense to have it. It stands on the east bank of the Desaran River, sort of where the Desaran River and the Ralvin River sorry, where the Desarin River and the Cerberus River connect, where the Cerberus and the Desarin connect. On the west bank, so the city itself stands on the east bank. On the west bank, there's another walled citadel that's under the city's control, and between them stretches a wide stone bridge. You guys sort of came through. You guys came through that citadel. You guys came through that citadel on your way back from Triborn. It was just a sort of like a customs crossing, so you didn't really spend much time. And that's actually where you reported the giant in the tower that you had come across previously. It's fairly prosperous and crowded. It's not a big city, but it's a condensed city. And the last time you guys came through here, you didn't really stay for long, so you didn't get to know the place very well. But it is a river port. There is a dock that sends ships down the Desarin River. And the elected leader of the town is called a water baron. The current water baron is Nestor Ruthial, a shrewd woman in her late 50s, who you very quickly, as you sort of whenever you start sort of asking around about information, you get very divisive opinions on her.
Okay.
But yeah. So you are in town. Are you looking? So are you guys just going to start asking around about Hatharl, or are you going someplace? Are you looking for someplace in particular? You want to like sort of spend the night?
Miracles. We probably should have planned this before we got all the way here.
Do we have a description?
I don't think it'll be hard to find the wandering noble in a town like this, especially if he looks anything like his father and is carrying a giant sword.
Well, so
I was less concerned about
finding the sword.
Yes. Also, I was less concerned about finding the noble and more concerned about finding the people that the noble is with, because if they are smart, he's not out wandering around.
So
yes.
the information that you have, his name is Hatharl.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get a description, but you can assume
Does he
he
have
looks
a
like his
cat
father.
by any chance, or it's another animal companion type?
Not that you know of.
Fuck.
You know that he has that he apparently took the giant slaying greatsword, and that the reason that he left was because his father disapproved of him marrying a female thief from Yarder.
Okay.
So, two thoughts. One, position ourselves to be a potential buyer for the sword, though that's a little risky because he might be dead by that point. Two, if anyone happens to have location-y or divination-y magic that might expedite things, unless he happens to be an eccentric who wears like lilies in his hair, and I missed that part, I can't really help with that. Speaking of, remind me that there's a thing I want to do next time we get outside of town.
I'm a little concerned you want to put lilies in all of our hair.
Okay.
It's not quite like that, but not unrelated, and I have a reason for it that I'll explain if I can do it.
I
you're
can
going
possibly
to Silvery Moon.
I was thinking it's possible I can not know someone, but look into a few of the unsavory elements in town, and
that would be yes.
Is there anything do we pose as buyers, or just say we're looking for?
I would suggest you do some looking around, see what the local guild is like.
Yes, I think you might want to do this independently. I think a paladin and a bounty hunter draw the wrong kind of attention from these folk.
Yes.
Unless you want to send relics along with me.
I was actually going to send that. I had been in the process of looking at stuff on Relics and Find Familiar. I look over at Relics and go looking for thieves. Tell me do some checking around. Tell me what you find.
Meow.
I'll
Because intelligence of 11, I'm assuming he's smart enough to be able to recognize.
Oh yeah,
And traveling with us.
you got a smart cat.
Yes.
Red Feather can go with you if you need someone that can move away or keep a message.
Yeah, that'd work. Also, I was just thinking that since Kinvalar can see through Relix's eyes, and
Yes, but I then lose focus on myself.
Well, give me an investigation check from Relix, by
Yep.
the way.
Yep, absolutely. Investigation is intelligence, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I feel like
Nope.
at some point
No,
I have
it's fine.
forgotten that I am
Shit.
fire resistant.
That's fine.
We'll see. So you guys are sort of splitting off, letting Firebolt go his own way.
Yep.
All right, Firebolt, give me an investigation.
So that we are not stepping all over poor Firbolt's toes.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Thieves Guild with a paladin and a bounty hunter over her shoulder.
Yes.
I would like to. Would you tell me where your finest thieves
Thieves
are? Okay, so Firebolt, you start
How
asking
do you
around,
do, fellow kids?
and you're asking around in the manner
Yes,
in which you are accustomed to asking. So, excuse me, I need something procured, and it's in a location that I can't necessarily get access to myself. And are you using the name Hetharl, or are you saying that you're looking for somebody at all while I'm making these questions?
not his name specifically, but I'm going to mention Xantharl's keep.
Okay. So after asking the correct questions in a few key locations, you're pointed to you learn about the local thieves guild in Yarder, the Hand of Yarder. It seems to be an all-female thieves guild operating out of Yarder. It's not necessarily the only group of thieves in Yarder, but it is the most well known, which is to say not known at all except for the people that know to know.
If you know, then you know. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly. And you learn that you might be able to get more information from a server at the Wink and Kiss, one of the taverns located more closer to the docks.
Okay.
Because that's where you find sailors. For a joke that only 5 people get.
I'm gonna, as I'm walking, just basically give it a note to Red Feather to say this is where I'm going, and send him off.
So you guys, the rest of you have sort of found a comfortable tavern to sit in and have drinks and talk and chat and whatever.
Miracle
happened
will
to be
step
the
out
week.
back to ritual cast speak with animals.
And as you're sitting there, Red Feather flies through with a note, and then Miracle takes Red Feather out back. Red Feather has a note, and then Red Feather will indicate the note on its leg.
Yeah, take a little note.
And it tells you that that Firebolt has gone to the Wink and Kiss.
What's
Located
the tavern we were at?
not the Wink and Kiss.
Okay.
That's
Hey, surprised to see you here.
That's sort of one of the Wink and Kiss is one of those taverns that you wouldn't want to step into as a member of your position, Fyron.
Yeah.
Because
No one doesn't want to be caught dead at a whorehouse.
it's not necessarily a whorehouse, but it's definitely one of the seedier taverns, and it's less about your reputation, although that is part of it, and more about the fact that you are instantly a target.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you all.
Although,
Well,
good luck stealing from me. I don't
continue
have that much
keeping an
money.
eye on him. And Miracles finishes the ritual casting. It's gonna ask the little local critters.
Give me an investigation check. See if you can find.
Oh wait, that's the wrong one. This one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fyron and Kinval are back at the table. Rilix through a window and onto the table and starts licking at whatever liquids you guys happen to have on the table.
Anything? Yeah.
So
Sort of cock an eyebrow.
looks up at you, and if a cat could shrug, it does. You get the sense that it didn't. It informs
Technically,
you.
if let me actually look at.
I believe you had a telepathic bond with.
Yes,
Bond.
understands
Yeah.
common, can't speak,
Yeah, no.
but telepathic bond. I'm assuming
It doesn't. It gives you a shrug, and then follows that up with, the information that it doesn't. If there is a thieves guild in this city, it's not one that operates so openly that he could find it.
Okay.
They operate behind doors that a cat can't open, or
Relix
they
was-
operate in locations that Relix can't get to by himself.
Cat has no thumbs. Can't open.
Meta translation. Relix was feeling lazy. Relix flew over the city twice, looking down. Relix came back.
Did not see
out.
anyone invisible currently robbing a bank.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck he wants me to do.
That feather's being
I'm a
useful.
fucking cat.
I can't open doors. I'm a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, you see things in alleyways.
Possibly.
Which is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So give me an investigation check to see what critters you can find.
14.
Yeah, you find a little herd of rats scurrying through an alleyway.
Great. I'm gonna dishonor it. I'm gonna ask the rats if
I can't make rat noises. I need to add that to my repertoire.
something like that. Yeah.
It's basically sucking on your teeth a lot.
No, that's not it.
I don't. Which is great because rats are. Yeah, I agree with Jeremy. Rats are a little more likely to have what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you found a group of rats.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the rats essentially if they've any dead corpses that they might have started getting to or newly buried, especially buried not in the place that humans are usually burying things.
They sort of relate to you. Bodies not buried, bodies in water.
Okay, that's useful. Can I get like a general part of the place along the docks from them?
Not dumped on docks, dumped under bridge.
Okay. Which bridge?
The only bridge.
The only bridge. The bridge that crosses
Okay.
the serpent.
The river.
Yeah.
All right.
The bridge that heads over to the Citadel.
Okay. And I'm gonna sneak over there.
All right, give me a stealth check.
There's nothing suspicious about the tiefling who's going to find corpses under a bridge.
Yeah. So you
Nothing at all.
You sort of move around very quietly and quickly, getting over the wall, and so that you're not on the bridge. And there's a small amount of bank underneath the bridge that you sort of get onto and look out into the water. Under the bridge, the water is very dark and is very hard to see, and you imagine that they're probably sunk down to the bottom. You have a mariner's cloak, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, the cloak of the manta ray.
Your mana ray?
Yes. I'm gonna put up the hood of my cloak and swim down.
The cloak of the manta ray, which gives you water breathing, I believe, as well
Yep.
as a swim speed. So yeah, you put it on, and this as you dive into the water, the cloak seems to almost come to life as it attaches around your arms and wraps the collar around your throat. And as the collar wraps around your throat, you suddenly find yourself able to breathe as if you were breathing air. And as the cloak itself wraps around your arms, you find that you can manipulate your body in such a way as to swim as if you were a manta ray rather than kicking your legs and arms, which actually makes you swim a lot quieter than you would otherwise. And you just sort of fly almost down deeper into the river. The river's fairly deep. It's deep enough for a full-size ship to get in. And as you get towards the bottom, you find yourself in what can only be described as an underwater graveyard. You see bodies with massive heavy rocks or chunks of iron tied to them via ropes, and they're just sort of dangling underwater in this macabre. Several of them like have it on one arm or one leg, so this sort of almost like it looks almost like a dance.
It's seaweed of corpses.
Time. Yeah. And like I said, it almost looks like a dance that's been frozen in one particular image of these strange bodies.
Okay, I'm looking for one that's newer or newest.
There is one that is newer than the rest. There's one that looks like it's only been there for a couple days.
All right. General description?
It is a female. Long black hair, trailing, looks like fish have gotten to it slightly. Not wearing much in the way of clothes. Looks like just wearing sort of a nightshirt that has also had fish got to it.
Okay.
Her throat has been slit.
I'm looking for the next newest one because that's not the son we're looking for.
Yeah. Give me an investigation check.
16.
It doesn't seem like so. You go through the next series and there are you sort of progress down through from most recent to skeletal, and it doesn't seem like anybody down here matches
the description and time frame
that you have for or the time frame.
Well, then I'm gonna swim back up and stealth back to the inn.
All right, so you get back out onto the side of the thing. The collar disconnects and the cloak drops back away from your arms. You pull the hood back. And give me another stealth check.
Alternative motion speeds, the ability to move in difficult terrain without making an athletics check.
Yep. You. It's harder to be quiet now because you're wet. But fortunately, the manta ray cloak sort of dries very quickly. It just sheds the water as ray skin does, by the way. And so it's mostly just your normal clothes that are wet. You manage to keep most of that quiet enough, though, that you can get back to the inn pretty quickly, or to the tavern.
So Miracle comes with presumably dripping wet hair because his hair is pretty damn long.
Yeah. And everything but the cloak is pretty damp too.
Can either of you interrogate corpses?
No.
That's a thing.
Do I have access to third level spells? No, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I found their graveyard, so we'll know when he dies.
But he's not there yet?
Nope. Or at
That is
least,
a good
unless
sign.
he looks significantly different from how we were led to believe he looks.
Meanwhile, cutting back over to Farbolt. So, Farbolt, you've arrived at the Wink and Kiss.
One thing before I actually head over to the tavern, use my disguise skill to not change how I look, but just to mostly alter my clothing, hair, just to look
Give me a
like
disguise kit roll.
little more
Disguise kit roll using
scruffier.
Disguise kit roll using charisma.
Using charisma.
Meanwhile, because it's how you sell the disguise. Meanwhile, the rest of you, 26 is really good. You rolled it already. Now you're rolling.
No,
fuse
that's
dice for
with
some reason.
no. I clicked on the wrong thing. I was changing it from to charisma.
I mean, we'll take the 26. Don't worry about it. So the rest of you, by the way, you find your you just as a reminder, so that you because you would know all the items you have at your disposal. You do have the ability to call in a favor with the Harpers because
We do.
you got that previously, from the innkeeper or from the guy in Everland. Anyways. In case that's the thing that you want to do at any point in time.
Yeah.
So you make your way to the wink and kiss. You sort of mess yourself up and sort of you're sort of selling yourself as looking a bit scruffier and a bit dirtier than you might otherwise look.
And just gonna go up, just me look around. I'm assuming a bit of a rowdy bar.
It's it's a sailor's bar, so yeah, it's a bit loud and crowded.
Yes, yeah. Immediately order myself a drink. And in a place where someone would like, even at the bar, in sight of like the bartender or something, use thieves' cant to basically signal that I'm looking for someone for a job.
So yeah, so you you order a drink and you take like a toothpick or something, and you just sort of scratch into the counter a quick message in thieves' cant, and then as you're drinking, the waitress comes over, looks over at the scribbles that you've made, and then as she takes your drink and gives you another one, she just remarks, "You know, damaging the counter typically costs some gold."
Oh,
And she'll walk away, and she looks like she's going to come back to you in a minute. You get the impression that that's saying there's a fee for your information.
yeah. I'm gonna take out 10 gold. I'm gonna put 5 over, basically right next to what I wrote, and then have the others 5 in my hand.
All right.
Gold, actually, good currency, generally speaking.
Is she comes back over after a while, looks over, sees the 5, just very casually swipes the 5.
And
And
this is kind of fiddling with one of the other coins that's in my hand, just to kind of.
She swipes. She sort of very very casually pulls the 5 away, and you don't even see where it goes. Like as she grabs the coins and then opens her hand, and the coins are just gone. She puts down a piece of paper. Be sure to leave a tip. And it looks to be like your receipt, basically. And the indication here you would know is to write your question on it.
Basically, I'm gonna say, looking to procure special item from Zymorphin Keep
Morven Hall.
or Zymorphin Hall, and put that on there, and just leave the other 5 coins on the counter on top of it.
She comes back again, pulls those up. I'll have your order with you in just a minute. And walks
Thank
away.
you very much.
After a few minutes, a hooded figure steps up and sits down at the bar next to you, orders a drink, pulls her hood back, and you see just sort of this volumetric layer of just massive amount of black hair just tumble out. She sort of sweeps it off to one side, leans forward and looks over at you. So,
Yennefer became a rogue.
you interested in buying antiquities, I hear?
Um, yeah, very specific antiquities. I'm interested. I've heard stories about a certain weapon that the Lord of Zymorphin Hall has. And I have interested parties who would be interested in acquiring such a weapon. Something that's particularly effective against large foes.
She sort of smiles. Well, I can certainly see about looking through our inventory and seeing where that might be, but up front there's a finder's fee.
Of course. And
500 gold, non-negotiable.
slight wince, but yeah. uh, and and how soon would such an item become available?
Well, it'll take me an hour or so, a couple of hours to look through my inventory. And then once I know where it's at, I'll be back to let you know.
Okay. Uh,
She just waits.
it's just wait. I will. I do have the money, but it's like, okay. Um,
I mean, all you gotta do is
Yeah.
let the paladin know after we're done here.
no, he will quietly reach into the bag and just stack up a couple stacks of coins up there. A few stacks of coins and put up the 500.
She will slide them into a bag of her own. Here, sweetie. She pulls out a key. There's a room upstairs that this fits. Go wait there, and I'll see you in a few hours.
Of
And
course.
she just vanishes away from the bar. And as Farbolt goes up to a mysterious room for which the key he has been given by a beautiful woman, we are going to go on a break real quick. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. Hope everybody went and used the bathroom and got your drinks and your food and your snacks. So, Farbolt, you get up into that room, open the door, and on the windowsill opposite of you is Redfeather, looking vaguely impatient. You're not sure how Redfeather knew this would be the room you would be going to, but it did. Birds are weird. Cutting back over to the rest of the other three. So, what are you doing?
Kinvalar, maybe
Yes.
Relix could watch, make sure no bodies get dumped, or let us know if a body does get dumped.
Glance over at the cat.
Looks back up at you.
You heard her.
Him.
Yes, him.
Sorry, Miracle. Again, the same thing with Lavis.
Yeah. Relix
Go on.
trundles off to a window and flies out.
Good cat. Good Tressum. Not a cat. Tressum. There's a difference.
They are much smarter than cats and can fly and
Yes.
see invisible things.
Yes.
So, is there anything else the three of you are doing while waiting?
I'm trying to think if there's anything that Kinvalar can do in this situation that's not going to fuck things up and make it worse. I cannot think of a single thing you would do that would not improve, that would not make this more complicated.
I'll make it more complicated. That makes it fun.
I mean, the only thing that I can do is, like, take my armor and all of my things that say I'm a noble off and just go in with a sword looking like a sellsword. But
I'd say you
that leaves me in a disadvantaged position.
You have full plate, right?
Yeah.
I'd say you could probably take off enough bits of the armor that you could get the benefits of like having a breastplate, without, and you reduce the full plate to a breastplate. You could theoretically do that, and that would make you read less as a noble.
Can I reduce it to half plate? My problem here being anything less than heavy armor is bad for me. Because my dex is -1.
Oh, dear God.
Do dex penalties apply to AC?
Yes,
Yes.
they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Anything that adds your dex to your armor imposes a penalty, which is why heavy armor is good for low dex.
Okay.
I don't actually have
Yeah,
a
no,
disguise kit, but can I
actually-
help out with like hiding the symbolism?
Yeah, if somebody were to use a disguise kit on your armor, and you could reduce it to half plate and have it read less as a noble's thing than
Yeah.
than
I don't
nobles.
have the proficiency, but I did purchase the kit a while back.
Yeah, so you just make a disguise kit without proficiency using your intelligence. In this case.
Okay, then that's just an intelligence check.
Fortunately, I have the charisma to play it off.
14. All right. Yeah, so you're able to reduce your armor class from full plate to half plate just by removing certain pieces of it, removing the pauldrons, removing the
removing one pauldron and most of one arm guard, so you got that asymmetric swordsman, like the put together armor style.
Yeah,
And
you have- you have to remove- you have
where
to
one
remove-
of the
you have to remove
holds
both
for a
pauldrons for
symbol
the
would
fast
be
link,
just
but-
putting some cloth over that.
Yeah, you remove both pauldrons, you remove bits of you remove the tassets, and you remove the epaulets and the chaussées, and are just left with your greaves and your breastplate and your gauntlets. But yeah,
Are you gonna get in trouble for ever pretending to be anything less than a noble?
Not if my family doesn't find out.
Cool.
so you look like a very clean and well kept sellsword, but you look like a sellsword more than a knight now.
Well, that brings my AC to 14 plus 2 for my shield, so 16. And then I will take my hair out of the ponytail, which is actually very long, and just like tussle it up, make it look less neat.
Now you look like a calendar bottle. All right, I think I'm ready.
With
Can-
the
And
pause for
pose
the
on the
slow
beach.
motion hair.
The hair toss.
There's a sound of a platter dropping in the floor, and you look over and you see a waitress leaning down to pick up what she had dropped, like, looking a little flustered.
Yep. Other than that, I'll just play with my little thaumaturgy cantrips.
The only thing that
Why don't you have prestidigitation, actually?
no.
That'd be me.
The
I
one
can change
person,
my eye color.
the one person who has the capacity to put dirt on my face is at the place where I need dirt on my face.
You can always go. You can also jump in the river.
No, I have a better idea. Come on. And
Uh-oh. I'm so sorry for whatever is about to happen.
I've got it. Nothing's good coming from. I have a clever
I'm
idea.
just gonna sort of head out of town.
First of all, I'm assuming you put the remaining parts of your armor in the bag of holding that Kinvalar has.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Kinvalar will really. The only thing that he's. Since it's been a little while, he will go ahead and cast Sending to check in with Firebolt. How are things going?
So Firebolt, you've been in your room for about, say, 20 minutes, and you get this message.
You get a 20-word response. I believe that. 25 words.
25 words.
Up to 25 words.
I've arranged a meeting with a potential seller of the sword, waiting on contact back at the Wicked Kiss.
Okay. There's no response back because that's a goddamn third level spell.
I thought the sending, couldn't you get a response back, or is this just message?
I also leave all.
You send one message and you get one message back.
Yeah.
I also leave all but 100 of my gold and 10 of my silver with Kinvalar in the bag of holding.
Okay.
So Miracle,
Which is 1705 gold and 2 silver.
So Miracle, you dragged Firen out of the building and out of town
I'm
apparently.
going to mark that down in case Firen dies.
Kinvalar,
But luckily, unlike many of my characters, you can be sure that you will get all of that back when you come back. Selena would be like, "Yep, here's your 1695 gold that you gave me."
There's a rental fee for the bag of holding, didn't you know?
Processing fee.
Yeah, so taking Firen out, basically, I want to find some rarer plants.
Okay, give me a nature check.
And I'm sort of describing this to Firen so he can come along and help me and get dirty by looking for plants. And if it doesn't work, I'll just push him into a tree and then I'll look dirty.
Give me a nature check.
I'll also possibly suffer
Natural
a
one.
Give me
concussion.
with advantage because you have Firen helping you.
17.
Yeah, you find plenty of plant. You find plenty of rare herbs that might fill out an herbalism kit or something like that. And in the process, Firen, you certainly get a lot of dirt in your armor and on your hands and in your hair. By the time you exit so by the time you start heading back, you've got like some stray twigs in your hair. It looks like a bird might have started putting a nest in there.
So I take all of the major refuse just to look like I haven't just been in the bushes, but
yeah,
sort of make sure that the dirt is like clouding the face, etc.
You're still very pretty.
And with that, I'm going to
I have long orange hair. Of course, I'm very pretty.
give Firen a few of the give both Firen and Kinvalar once I get back some rare plant. just keep it on you in somewhere that's not an extra dimensional space. I can't find people, but I can find plants.
Okay.
Very well.
Give me a percentile check really quick.
Me or Aaron?
Miracle.
Stick this into your front pocket. It's poison oak.
Oh God!
I roll a 17 on my nature tech. It's nothing poisonous. 8.
You did, but you didn't specify what kind of rare herbs you were looking for. It is, however, not poisonous. I think it was a 1% chance that you accidentally gave them something poisonous.
Sorry, I should have mentioned before exactly why I was looking for rare plants.
It is a lethal contact poison that kills you instantly. Oh, thank you.
Hey,
Here,
no, because then Fyron would have died picking it up.
Here,
Except I'm immune to diseases, not poisons. That's true.
but Fire has gauntlets.
Yeah.
Here, have some aconite.
No, Miracle
Let me
doesn't
take this,
accidentally kill.
and then let me take this, hold this for a couple seconds for some unrelated reason, and then start eating my bread.
All right. So I look like someone who did not get any of the ugly stick, but is still a swordsman on the road. So.
Yes.
So, the most handsome sellsword.
Meanwhile, so Kimball, you have received back and forth the message
Yes.
while they were out, so they come
Okay.
back and you have that information.
Well,
That took. We're gonna say that took roughly an hour.
Mhm.
In the meantime,
I had to
in the meantime,
after that.
while you guys are still out, Farbolt, the hour has after an hour.
One of the
door-
first things they're gonna before this, one of the things it's case the room.
Sure.
Make sure that there's
Give me an investigation check.
nothing unexpected.
Mhm.
14.
Seems fine. Doesn't seem to be any trapdoors or hidden closets or people waiting to jump out at you with knives. And after an hour passes, the door opens, and that same woman comes back in, closed it behind her. Well, you have expensive tastes. And problematic.
Oh, how so?
Well, seems the boy that that brought us the weapon you're looking for, curious enough, got himself arrested.
Arrested
Seems
for
like-
what?
Well, from what I've been able to find, he apparently he's been arrested and imprisoned for murdering a man. And the great sword in question is now in the hands of a captain of the watch, Tholzar Brenner.
Well, that is most unfortunate.
Particularly
I
unfortunate because Brenner is known to be, shall we say, less than scrupulous.
Fair enough. How unscrupulous? Just little extracurricular activities on the side, or
Let's just say he has many enemies in town.
well, this will throw a wrench in our plans. I will have to contact my buyer,
That's fine.
and
Its location has been found and provided to you. That was our deal. So, whether or not you can
Thank
get it is up to you. I will note.
Thank you.
I will note. He never travels alone, and he never gives back what he has stolen.
good to know.
That's a freebie. And she will open the door, leave the key when you leave, and walk out.
Okay. Let's look for Red Feather. It's like, guess you can go back. I'll basically just
Lands on your shoulder.
drop the key on like the nightstand or something and leave.
So Red Feather rides back on your shoulder as you exit.
There's a handsome sellsword sitting at the bar as you walk your way down.
Give me an investigation check because you don't actually know where they went. You guys split up after getting here, not after finding an inn.
He told us where he was going.
Yeah, where he was going, not where you guys were going.
Miracle didn't have the foresight to send a letter back saying we're at this inn.
Yeah,
I mean, I was heading to
this is happening while you guys are still outside, out in the forest.
Okay.
Because she came back after an hour. You guys are still out there. Because you guys left roughly 20, 30 minutes after he went up to the inn.
Actually, I'm not going to go directly back. I'm going to.
With a 14, you're able to find where they're at, just following the. There was a knight in shining armor coming through here with an elf and a tiefling, and you're like, oh yeah, they went over there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. If I can track them down, then I'll do that first. Then.
You can very easily find them.
So a bit of hitch in the plan.
So
it seems
really quick. So you walk in. Kinvlar sitting there by himself. Currently.
Hello.
Actually, if I see Kinvlar there, I'm not going to go up to him directly.
Okay.
But I will motion. I'll try to catch his attention and motion that I'm leaving.
I will give it just a minute, so I'll let him go, and then
I'm going to be like across the street and like slightly down a ways.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So do you follow after him?
Yes, eventually. Give him a few, and then follow after.
Okay. So you two meet up in an alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they don't have the Thieves Guild doesn't have the sword. The kid got arrested. He got arrested for murder. Who knows it? And from the sounds of it, the guard captain is a bit sketchy. So there's a very good chance that he's been framed for something. Probably because the guard captain wanted the sword. So for now, it seems that he's in jail. What'll happen to him? As far as charges against him, who knows?
I don't mean to sound skeptical of the local Thieves Guild's word, but what are the odds that they acquired the sword once they acquired the sword, they set this person up for?
I would say slim because they don't have the sword.
Are we certain of that?
Fairly certain. Otherwise, they would have tried to sell it to me. If they're after, doubtful that they had plans to use the sword. So, if they had a potential buyer who's willing to buy it from them for probably large sums of gold, they would have made me an offer.
Okay.
So, chances are, I'm guessing the guard captain wanted the sword and arrested the kid for it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I would say make sure that he is actually confirm everything and make sure he is actually in jail.
Yes, of course.
I was going to head over to take a peek around where the jailhouse was.
Do you want to do that on your own? If we plan to keep dealing with the guild, then it would probably be best if we weren't seen together.
If you guys want to tail me, got a red feather here.
on a plan on that
Work
right now.
with Relix, send Relix along, but I'm not going to try to break into the jail cell.
Fair.
But I do want to see if I can verify that he is there.
Okay. Take Relix with you. That he attracts a little attention, but certainly less than I would.
Are you calling Relix back? You guys sent Relix out to watch the river.
Right. I'm gonna say yes.
All right, so you telepathically send a message out, and a few minutes later, Relix, with a fish in his mouth, lands nearby.
There. Do me a favor. Go along with Firebolt. Keep an eye out as he's going to be checking the jail, see if we can find our wayward noble.
Relix puts the fish down at your feet with the telepathy expectation that this will be cooked when I get back, and hops up
Such
onto
a spoiled
Farbolt's
fucking cat.
and hops up onto Farbolt's other shoulder. Farbolt, you now have a red feathered hawk. You have a falcon on one shoulder, and a cat on the other.
Just a walking menagerie here.
Yep.
And you also know that Fyron should be back soon, Kindler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to get myself a monkey.
As you part ways, Kindler, you head back to the tavern. Moments later, a dirty Fyron and Miracle walk in.
Are you all right?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even have to push him into a tree.
And then
and I'll pull out a little bit of plant. Keep this on you. I can't locate people, but I can locate plants, so contingency.
So
not in a bag of holding.
Yes. So our ally showed back up. Apparently, this our young noble friend, if the word of Corbolt's
his
contacts
associates
are to be believed, has been framed for murder, and the possibly corrupt local constable has him and the weapon in possession.
Well, not for what I intended it for, but this disguise might actually still be useful then. I should probably catch up to him.
That actually puts a little bit of a wrinkle in the dead woman I found. Remember? Sorry, I have a thing going off for some reason. I was thinking that the bodies were probably...
You actually didn't elaborate on that one. You just said that you found a...
I found a garden of corpses dumped in the... I didn't feel like that needed any elaboration other than none of them matched the one we were looking for.
But anyway, I think I should probably...
The most recent dump was a woman roughly the right age to be our friend. The other one?
Our friend's lady?
Yeah, that's a subtle way of saying it.
That is a thought. Where did Firebolt say he was headed?
He was going to go check out the prison jail.
Right, I'll go catch up with him.
All right.
It's possible.
So Fyron, you're heading off to the prison. Are you trying to be quiet at all?
I'm in half plate, so stealth is a disadvantage.
Yep. Give me a
But
stealth.
yeah,
Firebolt, also give me a stealth roll.
With my
Okay.
-1 to my stealth. That's a 1. That's not a 0. It's a 1.
Natural 20.
So Firebolt, as you're ghosting to the barracks, you hear a loud and somewhat altered but still familiar clink, 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 clink of Firen heading down the street. You turn and look, and you see this utterly disheveled, rakish-looking, dirty approximation of Firen walking down the street. His hair let down on one side, looking the picture of basically a supermodel that somebody dirtied up to make them look like they actually do hard work. Hard labor.
To be fair, I've been on the road for a long time.
You have been, it's true.
But you've been on the road being a noble and an
it's just
adventurer.
divine health,
Yeah.
I don't get blemishes.
And so, yeah, he just sort of chunk past you. Because you're moving quietly and silently. You're moving slowly and quietly, and he's just jogging.
And you get the sense he's going to keep moving past you unless you show yourself to him.
Actually, I'm not going to show myself to him. I'm going to send Red Feather once said, "Can you accompany him?"
Red Feather looks at you.
Does he understand me? Point, knight, guy in armor, clanky.
Flutters off and goes and lands on Firen's shoulder.
I look at the bird on my shoulder and look around.
It's looking at you, and its head bobs down really quick, and you see it come back with some sort of worm that was apparently in your hair still.
Nice.
Well, thank you for that.
And it just sort of sits there. You occasionally feel a peck on your head as it looks like it's searching for other things in your hair.
Awesome.
Seriously, why do you think he hangs out on my horns all the time?
Can you lead me back to Firebolt?
Doesn't move. Too busy eating.
You point me to Firebolt, please.
Taps you on the head.
I'll from like an alleyway, just kind of
Not if you actually speak to Red Feather, that's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
Red Feather knows to follow basic commands.
From you.
From you.
That's true. Unfortunately, for one spell, wizards get a significantly better familiar than the ranger that's half of their class.
but the ranger could potentially get a much larger.
Anyways,
Um,
Red Feather's trying to eat food out of Firen's hair. You get the sense that that's the reason he went, not because you asked, Firebolt.
I'm gonna head out, and it's walking as if not walking with a purpose. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull up that cask of wine that I've been carrying around for a while.
Okay.
And this is start staggering down the street.
How obvious are you trying to be?
Huh?
How obvious are you trying to be?
Not terribly obvious, but this is a drunk walking down the street.
Right.
He's gotten a hold of what he's been looking for, and he's making his way down.
Give me a
the street.
performance check.
Public intoxication.
Yeah.
Is it even a crime in fantasy?
Not really, until you start a fight.
Unless you start trouble, I would think not.
Firen, you see a drunk moving down an alleyway
And then I see, and
With
then
a
I
cat.
with a winged cat on its shoulder, being very confused as to why this person has decided to suddenly start stumbling.
Yeah, the winged cat's kind of the giveaway, so I head that way.
It's like like as Farbold is stumbling, like Relix is adjusting so that Relix
Just
is
like
always
walking up and down Farbold's
yeah, like
shoulders.
always being on top, basically.
Back in the bar, it occurs to me that our familiars are probably pretty upset with us.
I mean, I'm getting a fish cooked for mine, so I don't know what you're doing for yours. I have definitely paid to have it cooked, by the way.
Yes, you have paid to have
I'm
this
not
fish.
cooking it myself.
You're wrong.
That's what help is for.
No, I just left a few worms in our paladin's hair.
which he is definitely getting out.
That will work.
So Fire and you head over towards the stumbling Farbolt with a cat like riding him like a bucking bronco, basically.
I just kind of step up next to him, put my hand on his shoulder. "Oh there, friend. You look like you're a little unstable."
Seeing solid ground, Relix runs up your arm to your other shoulder.
And this is just, oh, come along, my friend, have a drink. And let's enjoy the night air and just.
Certainly, let me walk with you for a minute.
Accidentally, spill some of the wine and just
adding to the disguise.
Basically.
And
Operation Dirty Fire.
Yeah. And make our way towards where
you're making your way towards the jail.
Prison. Yeah.
You should make your way the rest of the way to the jail. And you find
he is the worst at looking like he belongs.
Oh yeah, Firen is just like sort of carrying this drunk, like, okay, all right, sure, whatever, dude. But you guys make your way along, and you find yourself standing outside a squat stone building with no windows, that has a sign of like a guard post in it that you have been told is where a jail cell. They typically keep their prisoners until they transfer them either to the hangman's block or to an actual full scale prison. Typically, prison barges is what they use here. And you see guards standing outside of it, and people patrolling out.
Oh boy, I was hoping for windows.
I don't think they keep windows in a prison like this. They're at least well equipped.
Yeah,
at least for ventilation, something.
I think that's what the smokestacks are for.
Is it just one-story building?
Yeah, it's a sort of a long house, but one-story, squat, but long. Stone building. No windows, one door.
So worth noting, realization that Miracle had before I left to catch up with you. They went and found some bodies under the bridge in the river. One of them is very recent, of a lady roughly a couple of days ago. If our man has been arrested, it's a very good chances that that was his runaway spouse. Her throat was cut, I believe, was Miracle's observation. So I don't think it was with a greatsword.
So is it possible he actually did run away to get married?
It's possible, but I don't think his bride is around anymore.
I don't, and his bride-to-be kind of overstepped her bounds with the rest of the guild. Oh, now we have to figure out. So we have a choice. You can either do this sneakily, or we can do it out in the open officially.
I don't think we have. I don't think we have the pull to launch an official investigation into the captain of the guard.
Well, as far as investigation into this noble, as much as As much as that sword would be helpful to us, it's pretty much, from what they told us, it's been essentially impounded. I'm
Firing.
sure that.
Yes.
Give me a history check.
But I'm just thinking that maybe
16.
his life is a little more important than the sword at this moment.
You don't
definitely
have the political pull required to get a man out of jail or retrieve a greatsword. You are, however, members. You do recall you were officially given membership via use of the inner circles to the Harpers. And
Yeah.
you do know that they have a headquarters here because you came out of it when you went through a teleportation circle. They might have some form of pull or political power that you don't have access to by yourself. It won't necessarily be using the favor stone that you have. It might have a different cost associated with it, but you could, you in particular would think that you could ask the Harpers for help.
This might be a job for the Harpers.
Yeah.
Oh, are we?
Possibly calling
No,
him.
we're not there.
It's just the two of them. Yeah.
That was it. That was
Instinctual
Me
off-scene.
That was,
I mean,
that
in
was
fairness,
Jeremy not
there's a
wanting to owe a
psychic
favor.
cat who may be relaying any of this.
I'm with Jeremy too, but how many guards? And
You
is
see-
there a patrol?
You see two outside the doors right now, and there's constant patrols around the city.
I mean, the only surefire way I have of getting you in there is getting you arrested.
Yeah, which I not something I want to do right at this moment.
Make me a perception check real quick, both of you.
I'm kind of thinking
15.
of natural one.
You're puzzling over the implications and trying to act drunk. Meanwhile, Fire and you, who aren't actually trying to act drunk, as you guys are having this conversation, you do notice a larger contingent of guards coming out of the barracks and heading out on patrol, or at least moving away from the barracks. And it seems there are 8 guards and another person. This person appears to be of higher rank, and on their back is a large great sword that appears to be made of dragon bone?
There's our guard captain with his sword.
Where? Who?
I point.
Go.
You see this well armored figure with a massive greatsword on his back that appears to be made of bone of some kind.
It's a lot of
teleport there and cast lightning bolt. And then tell all the other guards, it's okay. I'm a noble.
And get arrested because this isn't Silver Moon.
We do these sorts of things.
It's okay.
I feel like it's less. It's okay. I'm a noble, and it's okay. I'm an adventurer. We're considered an act of God.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm from
adventurer?
Evermeet.
Your insurance will cover it.
It's okay. I'm from Evermeet. I have diplomatic immunity.
Yes.
It's okay. Does your insurance have adventurer protection on it?
I mean, if you're
Okay.
selling
If you're selling insurance in the fantasy setting, you definitely want to put adventurer coverage in there.
You have read Terry Pratchett, right?
We will,
Color
we
of
will-
Magic.
We will pay up to 1,000 gold for damages inflicted by adventuring parties raiding your house, stealing your valuables, or killing your family.
You just broke in and started breaking all the pots, and then
if your pots automatically respawn, this damage thing is not applied. Those aren't your rupees anyway. They're randomly generated.
Unfortunately, on the flip side of that, one of the questions for life insurance from people in Faerun is a family member of yours an adventurer, and that is an automatic disqualification.
Yeah. Do you have a
No,
child?
that's only-
Do you have a child?
child.
Period. Is the because if yes, no. Because it is every parent's fate.
Do you
for
have
them
any
to die.
estranged family members that may be doing evil megalomaniacal things in the background?
There's a lot of reasons why you can't get life insurance, basically. Anyways.
Anyway,
I think, if nothing else, I think the Harpers might be able to help us get a case to accost the captain of the guard and get him out of his position, or at least into a trial by combat, preferably with me. Because I think this man has served too much time and has served too much in this post and needs to be relieved of his position. Especially if he's framing young men for the murders of their significant others and likely doing the deed himself.
that is certainly possible. So we can. I want to kind of hide and just I basically want to track what the patrol schedule is.
All right. You keep an eye on the patrols. I'm going to go speak with the Harpers. Could you clean me up a bit?
Oh, right, yeah. Prestidigitation. Just clean up the hair. No, only slightly disheveled.
And since I look disheveled, I will tell Rilix, could you go let Kinvalar know that I could use my armor back in a short amount of time, and I'm going to go find the Harpers.
Relix looks at you, tilts head, flies off. Red Feather remains attached to shoulder. It looks disappointed that there aren't any worms left.
I'm gonna move down the street slightly so that I'm not like right across from the jail, and I'm just going to try to just observe the patrols and
Give
see
me a
what
stealth
they're.
check, Farbolt.
Now I look like a fighter in half plate.
As
So
Firen wanders off.
And another natural one.
That's 2 natural ones in a row.
Fortunately,
this is the lowest I can roll.
Fortunately, it's a contested
11.
roll. Fortunately, it's a contested roll.
And John's not sadistic like I am about that. Oh, was your natural one still a 35 because you're a rogue with expertise? Well, guess what? It was a 1. You still failed.
Well, it's you don't always succeed on a natural 20. You don't always fail on a natural 1, depending on the circumstances. It just depends on what's happening. Yes, always whisper rolls.
But
Please tell me they rolled an 8 on their perception.
11 is not that great.
They rolled a 4.
Ha!
So I'm not getting arrested tonight too.
So you sneak across, and your foot catches in a hole that was maybe dug out by a horse's hoof or something, and you just almost fly on your face. Wham! Into an alleyway. A trash can falls over on top of you. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground and a trash can falls over on you. But because the trash can happened to fall over on you, a guard who looks over for the disturbance doesn't see you. It just sees a pile of trash. And like a cat scurrying away. Not really, like a random an alley cat scurrying away. Huh, and continues on. They rolled a 2.
Yay!
2 on the dice, made it 4.
But yeah, mostly I'm gonna spend not the entire night, but most of the night I figure out when that patrol that the guard captain comes back, and looking at the
So while you're
changing of the guard on the prison doors.
While you're doing that, while Firen's making his way back to the teleportation circle, Kinvalar, you and Miracle are sitting back. The cooked fish comes back to your table, and right as the plate hits the table, Rilix into the window and is eating.
It's almost like. Well, that's excellent timing. How's it going?
You get a telepathic response saying, guardhouse difficult to get into. Saw captain with greatsword on back. Farbolt tailing captain. Kinvalar talking to Harpers. Firen talking to Harpers.
I was going to say, I am.
Firen.
Here, are you a Harper?
Fyron talking to Harper. Technically, yes, Miracle is a Harper right now. Also wants armor.
All right.
How's it going?
Did that include where Fyron currently is?
Talking to
Yeah.
Harper's.
Relix,
Yes,
all Relix knows is that
exactly.
Fyron was going to talk to the Harpers. That's all
Which
Relix knows.
direction did he head?
East, Relix says.
All right. And I will get up, grab my bag of holding, and start heading
I hear
that.
TARDIS.
Yeah, it's not my TARDIS.
Oh,
That's Jeff's TARDIS.
sorry about that. Thought I was muted.
I would be terrified if your TARDIS was going away, Jeremy.
What, the one I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
It's even better when I'm wearing the robe and then I have the blanket wrapped around me because then I'm double TARDISed up.
This is better than one. Anyways,
But what happens when you put a TARDIS inside a TARDIS? Is it like a bag of holding inside a bag of holding?
That's exactly what I was thinking. And then I realized that there's the possibility that question has been answered by the
I
show.
think
It had-
I think the
it
TARDIS
It
has
doesn't
appeared
work
inside
that
itself.
way.
It has.
Yes. The Master's TARDIS was in. Anyways. So yes, I am going to go try and find Fyron with my bag of holding so I can give him armor.
no. Do you let
Miracle will. So what are we doing?
Oh yes, sorry. Apparently, Fyron is went to go talk to the Harpers.
For what purpose?
Because blah.
Explain
Oh.
everything.
So if we need a political favor about this guy being a
information dump
suspected
spell.
murderer, wouldn't it be easier just to ask his dad? Who's a decently respected noble with some
Across the
pull.
realm. I don't know. Is it easier to go to the Harpers who are in town, or his dad who's across the Evermoors?
Someone has message.
Sending spells are sending spells.
Sending.
Yes.
That political poll sure gonna get here quick.
I don't know.
I mean, it is a valid point. Something at least to consider. There are a lot of potential problems with it. Everything from he might not be able to extend his reach here to he might buy into the framing attempt. But it is definitely something to bring up to Fyron.
Okay. I don't really care. This is all very political and noble and stuff.
Yes, I know. Not my favorite thing either.
In terms of that, my initial suggestion for shouldn't we talk to the guy through, because we can talk to him even though he's in jail. Yes, I realize I'm using you as a spell box. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
But I'm not sorry.
You are not entire. That is a valid point.
I know it's not the same as like being able to interrogate him, but getting a quick statement might be useful. And we could confirm our friend's intel.
Who are they saying you killed, and did you kill them?
First,
Also,
are you
is
alive?
that actually true that you're arrested on a suspected murder charge?
Though Relix did relay that they did see the great sword on the captain's back. So That is
Yes,
information
so
you
it would
have.
seem like more credible than I would give a Thieves Guild. In other situations. So, no, it is a valid point. I will.
There's a certain point where
I
these
mean, I
guilds
can
have
have
to
a
be
I can
honorable.
have a moderately decent back and forth, but that will be most of my
So
more powerful stuff.
another thing that Kinvalar would know. The requirement for sending is that you send it to a creature with whom you are familiar. You have
Is it
never,
familiar or
with whom you are
no?
familiar. You have never
Okay.
met him, so you probably wouldn't be able to send.
So
a
this
message.
okay, so
Yeah, the wording is specifically to a creature with whom you are familiar.
Yeah, we probably need a little bit more than just his name.
valid point.
You have never met him. So
Okay,
you
I was
couldn't
working
send it
under
to
the
him.
premise the spell works slightly differently.
The implication is that to cast a spell, you conjure the image of the person that you're trying to talk to in mind and use aspects of them that you're familiar with to more
No, that's
correctly
fair.
cast
It's
the
like a
spell.
Death Note. Got it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so you
Familiar
probably at
has
least need to know what they
funny.
look like.
Yeah, familiar has varying definition in
Yeah.
D&D because familiar for teleport means as long as you pretty much
As
have,
long as you can picture it in your mind, yeah.
yes.
Which we don't have a description, so
You
Yeah,
have
I
an
think
idea of him.
yeah, I think if we actually had seen him before, even if we hadn't interacted with him, that might be enough. But
yeah, anyway, there's one thing we can definitely still do, which is go find Byron.
So you all, if it doesn't, you have a pretty good idea of where he's going because you all came out of the building together, and you're closer to it than he is. So, Rillick's eating fried fish on your shoulder rides you as the two of you meet up with Byron at roughly the same time back at the building, back at the headquarters of the Harpers that you had stepped out of. Heading inside, there is heading inside, there's a faction representative, the same guy who mans the teleportation, sort of sitting there reading a book. Ah, yes. Welcome back. Where are you wishing to go now?
not wishing to go anywhere. I wish to have a word with potentially the captain of the Harpers in this city.
Well, I'm the representative available to you. What would you like?
Bit of a conversation. First off, are you aware of the captain of the guard's unscrupulous dealings?
We have had agents keeping an eye on him for a while, yes.
Well, as it turns out, his business has just gotten into the hands of the Lord of Zymorvan Hall, which is, in its own right, getting in the way of our business to solve this problem with the giants. But you see,
The short version of that is his business has now become Harper business.
yes. So, to give a more complete explanation, the Lord of Zymorvan Hall's son fled here with his giant-slaying greatsword on the hopes of getting married to a young woman, likely of the Thieves Guild. Well, he's been arrested for murder. The captain of the guard now has that greatsword, and my companion, I say, indicating to Miracle, found a body of a young woman very recently dropped into the river with her throat cut.
He's been busy. I think I know what you require. I think I know what our ally in Zymorvan Hall would like.
And I think this captain of the guard has sat in his station for a bit too long.
Remain here. If you have an ally, if you have, I believe there was a fourth. I'm echoing somebody's microphone. I'm not sure whose. If you have, gather the remaining of your allies. and I will return in a few hours.
Very well.
He closes his book, puts it down, and opens a back door that you guys didn't previously notice, and steps through it and closes it behind him.
Kindler, could you send a message to Farvold?
Yes.
In the meantime, I would like to get my armor back on, please.
Yes.
You start strapping on your armor.
I will send that. Sending past
Hair back
that
up with
along.
the ponytail.
Farbolt, after a while, after about 20 minutes of tailing this group, you get a message indicating that you should return to the Harper's headquarters.
Yep.
Just kind of at the pace that they're going. How long? I'm trying to estimate the time that it takes them to come back to the guardhouse.
It doesn't seem like they're going to come back. They're walking across the city as if they're on a patrol, but they're not doing the things that you normally see a patrol do. It looks like they have a much more specific destination in mind, and they're just taking a circuitous route to get to it.
So that might be a reason to skip out on the meeting for right now.
Yeah, I will send back. I'll be there shortly. Still checking out something with the guard captain, and I want to find out where they're going.
Okay. So you maintain on the stealth. Give me another stealth check.
That's what the animal companion's for.
The animal companion might not be able to relay that effectively. It's a survival check.
Oops,
Also,
that's survival
your
check.
animal companion is sitting
look
on fire and shoulder.
Stealth
currently.
check. That's much better.
That's exactly why I said that.
Oh.
28.
Right, 28.
And also, if I can ask the local rats for location information, I can ask my animal companion.
It's true, you can. So, you guys are sort of just waiting back at the Harper's headquarters, and Farbolt, you're watching, and it looks like they're definitely heading across town. But, before they get to their obvious destination, a trio of people step out from the shadows in front of them. The guards sort of ready their weapons, and one of them raises their hands in sort of a peaceful gesture. And as they do, from the distance, you see the glinting light of a golden pin that has a harp symbol on it. They step forward, they clasp their hands and step forward, and a hushed conversation occurs. The captain of the guard, you can tell, stiffens. You can't tell what's being said because at the distance you're at, but he stiffens and then motions for the guards to go on. The remaining 8 guards march around and continue on whatever patrol they were on, and the captain of the guards walks into this alleyway with these 3 individuals and disappears from view. Are you following the guards, are you following the captain, or are you returning back to the headquarters at all?
I'm gonna follow the captain. Is this an actual alleyway? So look at the top of the building.
Give me another stealth check.
Because I was going to go to the rooftops if it's just an open alleyway.
Yeah.
She was like Misty Step to go up to the top of the roof.
Sure. So, still give me another stealth check though, because you are trying to remain hidden. 26. Yeah. So
26.
you Misty step to the rooftops and look down, and you see this trio leading this man through a series of alleyways, and you sort of stay on the rooftops. You follow their path of progression as they head to back towards the citadel that is across the bridge from the town. It gets to a point eventually where you can't follow on the rooftops, but you can still watch because there's plenty of open field. They go into the citadel and disappear behind closed doors. And after about 15 minutes, one of the trio of cloaked figures comes back out with a large object wrapped in fabric, and heads to the jail.
Does the guard captain come out?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna head back to the Harper, join the others.
All right. After about 30 minutes, those of you that are waiting, sorry, actually, it's been about an hour. After about an hour, those of you that are waiting, Farbolt comes back.
Okay, tail the guard captain. Look around. Are we alone?
Yeah, as far as you know. You're in a Harper safe house, so you're alone, probably except for the Harpers. It's a reasonable assumption.
Follow the guard captain. While I'm talking, I'm just going to take out a piece of paper. And tell the captain he went on patrol. He ended up going to the Citadel. Didn't look like they were on much of a patrol. But on the paper, I'm going to write, met with a trio of figures with a golden harp pin. They have the sword. So I'm not actually going to say that out loud, so I'm just going to write it down, just like put it down in front.
I nod. Well, that is potentially good. So let's wait and see what happens, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
After about another...
Crumple up the paper, put it in the bag of holding.
After about another 45 minutes, that door in the back wall opens up, and the figure steps through with a large object wrapped in fabric that they put on the counter, and behind them, still shackled and looking very disheveled and exhausted, is what looks to be the spitting image of a younger Harthos Simorvin following behind. Well then, it seems that we have been able to clear up some amount of this misunderstanding. And he puts the wrapped object on the table, on the counter. I believe these are the two things you were looking for, indicating the boy and the wrapped package.
And the guard captain?
Being summarily dealt with.
It's not that I don't I don't know. It's just that I don't trust them. Can I do... I think it's investigation to determine this person is actually not just glamored, but who we're looking for.
Sure.
And do I know the reputation of the Harpers as generally...
I'm just asking what the check would be to try and determine if this is a spell or...
Investigation.
Okay.
I mean, investigation from you and a history
Natural 20
from Firen. This is, you can tell this is not an illusion. This is a real person. You can see he's even got like blood on his wrist from where he's been pulling.
It probably wouldn't be worth anything to them to fake that, but
14.
checking anyways.
The Harpers are a goodly organization. They're often at odds with the Lord's Alliance because of they both want the same thing but for different purposes. The Harpers want a safer north for civilization, and to do so, they're willing to get their hands dirty. They are what you would typically classify as a chaotic good organization.
Yes. That's all well and good.
This is for Firen's
This is
check
for me.
that he just made.
Oh.
This is for me.
I'm answering Firen's question.
Sorry.
The Lord's Alliance, on the other hand, are typically a lawful good organization who wants basically the same thing, but wants it through orderly expansion and negotiation and trade deals.
The Harpers are the ones who would deal with a corrupt guard captain.
Yeah.
Yes, and the implication in the statement of he's being dealt with indicates that he will no longer be a problem.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's been brought to justice. And I look down at the boy, and hopefully the lives he's ruined can... I doubt there's any recompense, but...
The boy, you recognize the look on this noble child, Fyron, it is a mixture of shame and embarrassment, both at having been captured as a noble son, and also at his father having been right.
Mm-hmm. I know that look.
So yeah, there is a very much humbled young noble and a wrapped package in front of you.
Come on, let's get you out of those shackles first.
The Harper reaches over and chink and it lets him go. Wasn't sure what condition you wanted him back in, so I left them on.
I thank you for your assistance.
You're welcome. The Harpers take care of their own. If you ever need help. And he picks up his book and continues reading.
Likewise, if you ever need ours.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry. We are aware.
I sort of
waiting
help,
until you level up a little more. And you can actually do something useful to us.
I help him to his feet and I grab the greatsword.
Yeah, you grab it, and yeah, you can feel it through the wrapping. It's wrapped up, but it is definitely a great sword.
All right, let's get you back to Zymorvan Hall. We'll need to be teleported to Everland.
He indicates over the teleportation circle.
All right.
Step on.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Come on, lad.
And as you all gather together on the teleportation circle,
Yep.
He snaps his fingers. The circle lights up, and as the light engulfs you, it then immediately recedes, and you find yourselves back in the Moongleam Tower of Everland. We're going to shortcut a little bit. You guys make your way back to Zymorvan Hall over the next couple of days. Nothing really bad happens to you.
I attune to the greatsword, assumedly.
If that's what you want to do, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you attune to...
I'll leave the red feather primarily on hapless noble's head.
Hang on one second, and I will add this item to your inventory so you can get. It is statted to a great sword, even though the image is a great axe. And there you go. You can apply that to your inventory now. It's in the magic items folder. You should see it.
Giant Slayer.
Yep, the Giant Slayer, yours in particular, is a great sword.
Yeah, weapon, any axe or sword.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a
2d6 is the damage of a great sword. Anyways, you eventually make your way back to Zymorvan Hall with Child in tow. Again, nothing. You manage to keep a rigid watch, and nothing happens over the next few days as you get back to the hall. You find a very grateful Harthos Zymorvan at the hall, who immediately begins to tear into his child in the manner that a father does to someone who ran away from home, stealing a priceless artifact in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And you are all thanked. The weapon is your reward, obviously. And you are able to wander free. Where was the next destination you guys had in mind?
That is a fantastic question.
There was that
What
letter
is
of
left
mark
on
we
the
had
fucking
to.
list?
We had that letter of mark to city of Citadel Felbar.
Okay, let's go through all of our big purple rectangles that we have here.
Can we change the color of the rectangles we've nominally completed?
I was going to say delete them.
That worked too.
Like, yeah, I know
Mirabar and Xanthar we've done.
We've done Silvery Moon. We've done Everland. We've done Zymorvan.
What was in the Serbian Hills?
The Serbian Hills is where the fire giants that attacked Tribor were heading to.
Right.
I just marked that just so you knew, but you've delivered that information already, so that's kind of...
Yeah.
And then there are orcs down in the Desrin Hills, and there's something at Citadel Feldbar, but last time we discussed that was a while ago.
That's
Citadel
the letter
Felbar,
of
we have a
introduction.
letter of invitation there, but I'm not inclined to go after that too much. Unless we have any reason to be headed that way.
to.
You basically have a letter.
Introduction, not
Yeah.
invitation. Sorry. That's
And
just my writing.
the light purple spot is, I believe, where the ogres were headed.
No, the light purple spot is the light purple
No,
spot
that
is
was
where you
where
found
we
the fire
were.
giant and where you found that rod that Kinvalar has in his
Okay.
back.
Yes.
Okay.
The ogres were headed somewhere down this way.
They were heading south somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew roughly where they were headed because they were using my map, but
And what is the dark purple? Flint rock.
Information you had received indicates that there's an Uthgarth barbarian who have an Uthgarth barbarian tribe that has an ancestral mound there. That was just marked so that you guys knew what was there. You didn't have any reason to go there yet, as far as I know.
Well, I mean, based off current options, I wouldn't mind doing.
And then Miracle will pull out like 2 scrolls worth of notes. So all of these are potential artifact locations. None of them are particularly strong leads, but they are all possibilities.
All right.
We can use the rod.
Because I spent days in the library collecting any tangentially like a place that sounded like the right kind of thing.
Yep.
All
And
right.
we have the rod to locate anything.
I think
That would work too.
I think it's time to go giant hunting then. We should take our strongest lead on one of those artifacts and use the rod to try and narrow it down.
Strongest lead is a stretch, but yeah.
I said strongest, not strong.
John, given that prep work that I did, just sort of trying to cross-reference local.
So the closest place that one of those was at was actually probably in the Moonwood, which is sort of just north.
Outside Morven Hall. Hey, we're nearby.
That's be the closest one.
Okay. Somewhere in the Moonwood, maybe?
That's a place to start.
Do you know I know anything about the Moonwood?
Give me a history roll.
I would also like to make that history roll.
Yeah.
18.
19.
See what you might. So the Moonwood, also known as the Glimmerwood, it's the Moonwood is 1/3 of the Glimmerwood as a whole. It's the Moonwood, Draarwood, and Coldwood. It's a dense coniferous forest north of the Evermoors that's typically very quiet. It's home to small bands of moon elves and wood elves, a few woodcutters and trappers. There's also some Uthgarth barbarians that lie in there. One of the primary known locations in there is One Stone, which let me pull it up. One Stone is another Uthgarth barbarian mound. This one's slightly known more because there's wood elves and trappers know of it from inside the woods. Aside from, it's called One Stone because it's like sort of a series of cairns on top of a mound that has just one giant boulder on it. That's pretty much all the information you have. You're thinking if there is the place that the artifact was potentially sort of matched up is One Stone, so there might be something there. It might be something else. The boulder seemed to be of some significance, but it wasn't clear as to whether or not it was actually a giant piece of adamantine, part of Vonadod, or if it was just a giant boulder.
Well, that's a place to start. And if it is part of Vonadod, the giants will be attacking them eventually, so they'll want to know to defend themselves.
And also, I would like to bring this up. While I was doing some searching with the Thieves Guild, I found a couple things. And now that we're away from Yarder, I'm okay with pulling them out. I didn't want to bring anything up in case someone from their guild would notice. But I did find a couple things that you might find interesting.
Really?
Can I get an insight check?
Give me a deception check, Farbolt.
I believe my teammate implicitly.
Firen willingly fails the insight check.
15.
Yeah, he's lying.
Farbolt, you don't know where Farbolt acquired these, but you're pretty certain it wasn't in Yarder.
Okay.
Or at least it wasn't from the thieves.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll that just for.
I'm not going to bring it up because I feel like somehow I'm going to be the one who's getting mad at by our paladin for this.
Kenvalar, yeah, no. Whatever he's about to reveal, he didn't get in Yarder.
So he's keeping an even tone expression.
I trust my teammates.
Firen does not roll an insight roll. So Farbolt pulls out of his bag holding a suit
of armor and a saddle.
A large suit of armor and a saddle. And do you pull out the necklace as well?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Do you pull out the haversack from your saddlebag?
No, just the armor and the saddle.
Just the armor and the saddle. So yeah.
Really?
This Firen, this armor is mithril. It's mithril full plate.
That is impressive armor.
Yes, it is.
I figured it would be useful.
So you pulled out the full plate?
The plates and the saddle.
Okay.
The saddle is distinctly magical. You're not sure what it does, but Kenvalar could probably determine what it does.
We're gonna call him out.
Or a miracle. And
Miracle's assessing.
It's up to you whether you wake the paladin up.
Firen, do you start putting on the armor?
I mean, I start inspecting it just to
It is high quality mithril full plate. Like it is magic item stat mithril full plate.
This might be useful. I say might. This will definitely be useful.
And
I'll be honest.
You do actually see the maker's mark of Mithril Hall on it.
This is out. This is from the dwarves.
Who knows where they get things from?
I mean, to be fair, anything from Mithril Hall is valued across the land.
So,
just wanted to make sure that
I don't have disadvantage on
sending.
stealth checks if I'm using it.
Yeah, it's true.
Fair enough.
It also does.
I cast sending.
Mm-hmm.
Did you kill anybody for that?
So you get a message in your head, Farbolt, asking, "Did you kill anybody for that?"
In the tone of, I so do not believe you that you got that from the thieves.
No, and no one saw me take it.
Can I do an insight check to see if anyone else knows?
Sure.
Oh, somebody knows. I think this would be an automatic for everybody if Iron was
okay. Yeah.
The armor
with
on.
The context.
Yeah, Kenvalar's like.
Yeah.
Farbo's got the "I'm completely, totally innocent" look on his face.
Something wrong,
Kenvalar. Hard to look like I'm being innocent.
No, everything's fine.
All right.
Do you inspect the saddle?
Yes, I will look over this.
Give me an Arcana check. It's not hard.
I mean, I will take the 10-minute process of doffing plate mail.
Yeah. If somebody helps you, it takes less time.
Well, I'm glad it's not hard because I got an 11.
Yeah, no, this is the saddle of the cavalier.
Okay.
When it's attached to a horse, you cannot be dismounted. Also, enemies have disadvantage to attacking your mount. So potentially useful for both you and Fyron.
We have fancy horses.
Also means that you can't get dismounted while you're casting spells. So.
Well, I might be able to potentially use this if that's quite all right. Throwing him a very even, throwing Firebolt a very even look.
Well, to help the party.
Wonderful.
Big grin.
Yes. As long as it helps the party in their current mission to deal with this giant problem.
All right. So you.
Is that all you got?
I do have something else. I didn't think it wise to put in my bag of holding, but I'll go get the haversack and give that to Miracle.
Okay.
Echoing in somebody's. I'm not sure whose. I think William.
I accidentally pulled my headphones out.
Aha, that would be it. So yeah, Farbolt comes back with this large backpack and sort of hands it over to Miracle. It's got 2 side pockets and a single pocket.
I am now the only person without magical means of carrying things.
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
This is when I stumble across a portable hole.
Literally.
24.
This is a Hewert's Handy Haversack.
Well,
It
well, someone just got fancy magic armor or pseudo magic.
I like how Firebolt isn't getting any of this.
Oh no, Fireball has the necklace of Fireball.
Fireball has the necklace of Fireballs.
But I'm not pulling that out.
And
That's
you
mine.
You both currently have bags of holding.
Kind of
Yes.
grabbed what I could get a hold of without being noticed.
Also, Hewer's Handy Haversack is perfect for Miracle's character because it's just the less efficient version.
I know, that's why I want it so bad.
I am handing it to Miracle.
Also, the other thing about it is it can't be turned at inside out.
Yeah, it can't be like unlocked like a bag of holding can. So, as you all divvy out items and get ready to head out towards the Moonwood, while you're on your way to go, while you're sort of preparing to head out, you sort of stepped out of the hall and are down on the road, getting ready to leave. And you see a massive blue-skinned giant wearing plate mail with a large dragon skull on his head and a massive axe sort of hanging down by his side.
That looks like an ice giant or a storm giant?
Looks like a frost giant walking towards you. And at that point, we're going to call an end for this week. So, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.